What the fuck is up? It's another episode of Brian's One Paul Show. We're doing it. I'm officially making this its own thing. We can't keep doing interviews. We have to just be our own thing. You got a ponytail now. You're cool. You're obviously a karate instructor. You know, things are happening for us. So this is my new show, Brian's One Paul Show. It's that's what it's called. It's a work in progress. Hosted by Paul Kilmer. I'm the co-host, actually. The name is very ironic. How you doing, Paul? What's going on?
You know what? I can't complain. Things are going good. I'm booking shows.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. You're killing it, dude. I fucking love it.
I'm dealing with the existential dread of turning 40. I'm liking people's posts. I'm trying to be supportive, still finding weird crap in the movie theater. Trying to here's the thing. Autism, March is Autism Advocacy Month. And my whole
Happy April 2nd, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's only been Autism Awareness Month for 2 days. So, I'm getting in there. You got to get in there.
Yeah.
And I remember when it was just one day. I remember when we just had one day. It was Autism Advocacy Day.
Tell me it wasn't the same day as April Fool's Day, at least.
No, that's weird. That would be weird.
That would be fucked up.
I have autism. Surprise! It was a joke.
Right.
And then my entire life just crashes down. It's like, I told you he was just a fake and a fraud.
But hold on. Tell me about the turning 40 thing, because I'm 34 right now, and I'm actually I have this I'm really excited to be 40 soon. I'm getting pumped for it. I can't wait to just be a 40-year-old. I feel like that's going to be my decade, because my 30s have been so much better than my 20s. I had a bunch of people that I'm friends with around here, because there's some younger cats doing comedy out here, some people our good friend Patrick McKinstry. He just turned 30. He was here, and he's doing jokes about turning 30 all the time. And I'm like, bro, your 30s are so much better than your 20s. Fuck my 20s. 29 was the last year where I was like, ooh, why am I sad? And then their 30s, you're like, oh, this is why I'm sad. Now I'm gonna deal with it. So 40s is probably yeah, I have 3 credit cards now. I'm pretty cool.
So, number one, the thing about turning 40 is having having the ability to look at your life and realize how much better other people have it right now than you did, and angry about it. I always tell people in my show, if someone like me right here tells you that the 90s were better than the time you grew up in, we're lying. We're angry. All of our musicians are dead. My parents are dead. My family split in the 90s. So did yours. Yeah, the 90s were great. Yeah, we had some cool cartoons. What happened? They got taken off the air. Everything dies. Everything dies. Some faster. It's better to burn out than fade away.
Is it?
I stole that
sure.
from the movie.
Well, we definitely missed the 27 Club, so now we're just on borrowed time. We just have to now make it to senior citizen age, so no one's it was too soon.
Yeah. I think they should give us our AARP now, because they might not even be a future with the way things are going. They should just give us because listen, I want my 10-cent coffee. All right. I think I've earned that. I think I've had enough life experience.
I agree. I agree with that too. I think you should only pay 10 cents for coffee as well. Cause here's the thing. Can you imagine in a Mad Max sort of gasoline apocalyptic scenario, and you're still trying to use a AARP card, and they're like, oh, sir, we use bottle caps now for you Fallout fans.
So and this is what I always say. It's just when I do Zoom comedy and I'm out there, it's like, oh, Paul, you should really look into. It's like somebody asked me recently. It's like, are you going to get your beard dyed now that you're 40? And I was like, I earned this.
Yeah.
I earned this gray hair. I
Dude, I
am
have
gonna go
mad gray hair now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
gray.
Like, I'm ready for
I'm,
40.
I'm gonna go gray naturally, and not only that, I will shame anybody who dyes their hair to
Yeah.
look younger because you don't. It's like, when somebody gets a bunch of plastic surgery in their 60s because they're having an existential crisis, but they just look like a young old person. It doesn't. It's
They just
just
look mutated because you can
it
only
does.
lift and push and mush and plumpen and stick and poke so much. Your body is only so
Yeah.
mutatable. Like you know what I mean? Like,
And I'm not going after people who look. I'm a firm believer in letting people have the things that they want. If you want to go get a tummy tuck, if you want to go get Botox, if you want to do that,
oh,
that's great.
absolutely, go
It's
for
your
it.
money.
YOLO.
But if you're doing it because you are afraid of getting older, you're just feeding into your own psychosis. I am not a therapist. I am not a psychologist. I'm just saying you're getting it for the wrong reasons. And who the hell am I to even say that?
Well,
But
fear of
I'm gonna,
aging is just fear and event of uncertainty, of inevitability. You know what I mean? I think most people struggle with that. I think biggest fears are like public speaking, finding your porn stash, and then like, impending doom.
and there's no such thing as a porn stash. Bing
Not
is
anymore.
every kid. Bing the
This
cert
joke takes
Bing
place in the
the
90s, Paul.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm very
Okay,
nostalgic right
fine.
now about my
Yeah,
comedy.
because Bing is everybody where everybody gets their porn. All right, it's the Bing
Remember the 90s when you had to just find porn in the woods? Remember
or in the
that?
park or in the park.
Accidentally,
And
when you weren't even looking for it, you were just
yeah,
looking for
and
something
it's
to
funny
break.
because it doesn't matter where you grow up. It doesn't matter where in the United States you grow up. If you grew up in the 90s, there was always some dude who would just leave a porno mag in a park. It would be there and the kids would know it and they would hide it, but you would like that was community porn and that was the best porn.
Yeah, it was like, how some people have to go to the library to use the
Yeah.
internet. It was like I remember like we legit found like, I swear to God, like a public jerk station. Like there's like two parks in my hometown of Newington, Connecticut. The parks have like a trail between them, and it's like, you could see some dead snapping turtles or whatever. Like it's a shitty trail. Or there's snakes in it. It sucks, dude. But a lot of it is, homeless people or people getting fucked up. Like you'd find like, chairs with just beer cans everywhere. And that's what we found. There was like two like lawn chairs, like not even like a porn magazine. It was like a catalog to like a Sky magazine of like butt plugs and shit. You know what I mean? Like just like, oh, hi, I want to buy the double strap on H plus series. Yeah, serial number is H865. Yeah, I'll hold. You know what I mean? It was like shit like
Yeah.
that. And it was like two chairs facing each other, very important for the story. Like in like a boma, like a bush surrounded area. I've been watching a lot of Naked and Afraid again, so I'm putting it back in the lexicon. A boma of like brush and like litter and like just yeah, like two chairs, a porn catalog, and some empty beer cans, some nip bottles. Like they were
Yeah.
just like, people were just getting fucked up and like chilling. But like also, I didn't get the internet till I was 12, so like a lot of people struggled.
I always tell people this. You had to go find
Always.
when you became a certain age, you had to find your porn. Like you
You had
would
to
have to
find
go to
anything in the
you would
real
have to go
world.
there like you turned 18 and for some reason you and all your friends went to the adult movie store or the adult bookstore and there was a dude behind the counter that pretty much worked at all of them. And it's the same dude And then
Yeah.
you would basically walk around like, oh my God, it's porn. And then you would buy one. And that was our experience. And people wonder why, oh, older people are so messed up. We didn't have a choice. We
Yeah.
had to do that.
Yeah, you had to confront your demons and pay for
Yeah.
it at a cash register if you were
Now
really.
porn is free. We have to pay for our porn.
Only things are free in life: porn, matches from the gas station. You can quote me
Yeah,
on that.
I
Um,
will. I will.
you know what's crazy too? You're like, since we're just gonna be like literally grumpy old men this episode
Yeah.
about the 90s, and I'm totally down for that. You know what you just got me thinking about too? Look how far we've come in 23 years. Remember Y2K when they're like, it's gonna change the year and the computers are gonna shut down because they don't know what to do. And then nothing happened. And now we're like literally like 23 years later, like computers and AI are taking over the world and we are fucked. We were literally like, they will not be able to handle it changing to the year 2000. You know what happened? I remember Y2K. Nothing happened. The lights didn't go out. I remember I turned on my desktop computer the next day, my Gateway, like fucking 95 or whatever the fuck it was. And I swear to God, this is all that happened. My computer thought it was 1976 in the calendar app, and I changed the year to 2000, and then that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. It went, oh, okay. So then tomorrow, like next year, I'll just say 2001. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, computer. And they're like, okay. And then, that was it. The cut to having a laptop in high school when I'm graduating in like 06, 07. 2001, 9/11 happened. You're telling me that wasn't computers doing that?
Never forget.
Yeah, that's the less common conspiracy theory is that AI did 9/11.
Well, this is the way I look at
I
it.
mean, they did learn how to fly those planes on that Microsoft game, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not.
This is the way I look at it. I will say that we have the I'll put it to you this way. Cancel me, don't cancel me.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Donald Trump was just a lovable reality TV show personality?
Yeah, like when he's just the dumbest part of Home Alone 2, and you just go, okay, whatever.
Okay. And then
yeah, he's the
when I
president.
was a kid, and then I'm like 7 or 8 years ago, he's the president of the United States. Our generation is the most random generation ever. The weirdest things happen to us. There are people in Florida using wrestling moves on alligators. Disneyland.
It's their biggest fear. The internet being this like literally bigger than life force of like public information and stuff, and disinformation for that matter, has only become this like power struggle of like, you talk about imperialism like on land, and now we're going to space and trying to conquer all that, but like there's also like an imperialistic tactics all across that with censorship. Like, easy example, there's like a meme going around where it's like Google Paris, or not, look up Paris now on Facebook and then do it on TikTok. And they're like, you look it up on Facebook and it's just like, I went to Paris, see vacation pictures. You look it up on TikTok and then it's like, there's garbage and protests everywhere. So you're like, okay, that might have something to do with it. The FCC like trying to take away net neutrality like 5 years ago and shit like that. Or like, yeah, it's all the same tactics. Or like, even like, I hate to even bring his name into it. Fucking Musk was like, I'll give Ukraine free internet, and then took it away. And they were like, you're a dickhead for that. So it's like, I think the rise of the internet has been that, because I've been talking about this a lot lately, because everyone brings up the Mandela effect, like it's some quirky whatever. But like, really think about this. And I hate to like bring up a real conspiracy theory I have because it leaves me vulnerable. But like, if you remember something from like, let's say the 80s and 90s, because like a lot of the times I feel like I remember something and I'm like, and it's not something like to the effect of like whatever, like, oh, I think Sinbad was in a genie movie too. It's something like, I remember this like being on the news, like some major event, or like I read it in a book in school. Like I just vividly remember it because I have a good memory. and then you try and look it up on the internet and it's just not there. Like, so like these people like with that, then they just like, you know, make this like meme like, oh, the Mandela effect, but it's like, no, that's a disinformation campaign basically of like, because if you're just one of the only people that remember something, but the rest of the world is in agreement that never happened, or you can't even find proof of it, and the most, you know, like Dewey Decimal System like based, like information based, the internet, you can't find anything like, you know, unless it's certain sources. Because like I remember like when they taught us the internet, like the internet became like a thing, like when I was like in 4th grade, and they were like showing us like how it's like comparable to like the Dewey Decimal System, like literally. And people don't even know, like that are younger than us, don't even know what the fuck that is. It's like, yeah, they were like, you have to learn how to categorize books because they won't invent the internet, basically. So then on top of that, you have they were showing us search engines for the first time. And I remember like at the time, a teacher vividly saying like they ranked they're like, none of these are biased, like these are unbiased, but like Google was like the 6th best. It wasn't even good. Like I think the one they ranked number 1 was like fucking Alta Vista.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how, like, and like what's that? Like Ask Jeeves was like number 3.
Yeah.
You know, like it's weird how like and like, you know, on top of that, you have like large corporations trying to like hoard up all commodities, monopolizing like land, you know, infrastructure, fucking supplies, resources to everything, things that don't even exist, like your boy Trump, who would like buy like space that's like above buildings, which like is like talk about Native Americans not understanding the concept of owning land. Imagine owning air, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, you know, you have everything like going against us. We are just like, we are a people that are just addicted to sensationalism and loopholes and saying, well, technically, and that's not my problem. And it's just like, well, guess what? It's actually all of our problems. We are our own problem.
So basically, I have a. This is gonna be. This is good. You're just gonna. I'm gonna come out and say this right now.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can hear it. There's a bunch of ambulances going by. I'm sure people have like called the authorities on me.
It's a loophole. It's a loophole.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Yeah. Right. So I'm an autism advocate. And sometimes I go to the state and speak. And the messed up thing about being an autism advocate, it also leaves me vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So sometimes people hop into my DMs. Sometimes people confront me at these events. And it's usually some mom whose friend's son has autism, or it's some person I don't know with an opinion. And the last time it happened to me, and I talk about it in my stand-up, a lady came up to me and she says, do you think vaccines played a part in you having autism? And I looked the lady in the eye and I said, as a person with autism, I'm not acutely aware of my symptoms. Somebody has to tell me I'm having my symptoms because I have the disability. And she was like, well, how do you know I have autism? And I says, I have paperwork from the state of Connecticut from very smart people that say I have autism. Yeah. And she's like, well, how do you know that vaccines didn't cause it? And I looked her in the eye and I said, because it's a genetic. Yeah. It has everything to do with the genetics that run through my family line. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what research is that in? And I was like, all of it, all the research. Also, have you ever hit them with one of these? Like, just like, let me ask you something then. How do you know it is? Tell me that. Let me hear your theory. Like, those are the people it's like, no. Prove me wrong. I would love to hear, do your own research. No. Inform me then. If you want to be the fucking Jehovah's Witness,
of walking around fucking knocking on fucking anti-autistic doors or whatever the fuck it is you're doing. Tell me what the fuck it is that makes you so fucking smart, and your fucking Carhartt fucking bullshit and your goddamn boots that were your dad's that he got from his work pension anyways, and you haven't even fucking put a dent in them. You fucking tell me, fucking scientist, what the fuck you know on your YouTube videos that I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, hit him with one of those, like, inform, because then you literally putting facts in this fucking daft bitch's fucking face of like it's a genetic thing, which like literally I don't know anyone with like a fucking like, first of all, how tone deaf of her. You know what I mean? Talk about like, I don't know, showing autistic fucking tendencies to just say that shit to you without like taking a fucking tone to like the conversation of like why you're there to speak. Why is she there anyways? Her friend, you know what I mean? Just to fucking antagonize you. Like, fuck you, bitch.
So what I did, because this happened to me. Someone got into my DMs, and it was kind of going. The conversation actually started off really nice.
It started sexy, and then it went bad. They slid in.
This person said this to me. She says, "Well, I've done my own independent research," and then I turn around and I says, "You telling me that you've done your own independent scientific research means nothing to me."
Yeah,
and
right.
Here's the reason why. People that are scientists, that's a job.
I'd be like, where did you get your degree? What's your degree in? Because honestly, what's your degree? Like, where'd you get your degree? Isn't even like, that's like the first question of many. Because then like, it's like you have a doctorate in what? Viral fucking diseases?
Basically, she went on to tell me is that and this is what these people do, is she sent me a crap ton of links. And I says, this information was debunked in the early 2000s.
Right. And it's always like a purple backdrop website that has like one picture at the top. It's in like that fucking font that like every crackhead's phone is still in, like cheetah print. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
And I said, when it comes down to it, I said, opinions are the lowest form of human intelligence. They're biased, and you can't use them as scientific data. So what you're doing is there's a difference between one's personal beliefs and empirical facts. There's no line in the middle. It's either true or not. What ends up happening is that I'm very comfortable with letting people have their opinions. Because
they're allowed their opinions when they impose them on other people in an antagonizing and bullying way. It's not a tactic of like to convince you otherwise for your well-being. It's to ridicule you in like some fucking sort of fashion. But
so hey guys, it's Paul. Brian had to step away for a couple of minutes, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thanks for watching these videos. That means a lot to me when you guys hit me up in the DMs and you tell me you like what you see. I honestly don't know what's going on in the world, but I know that I support you and what you want to do. So I have some upcoming shows, which you could go to my Facebook at Paul Kilmer. I have one coming up on the 8th. So I was thinking the other day how cool it would be to go apple picking. Apple picking is a huge thing in the New England.
It really is. Apple picking is great. Like, I loved, even in the winter, you go drive around the reservoirs and smoke a fat blunt, and you just see like that army of apple trees looking all barren. You're not wrong, Paul. Definitely not wrong. Just slid back in. We can just keep podcasting. That's how it is, you know. Ham's fine. She just isn't getting a break today. It's busy out in Lincoln, you know. All these major sporting events. There might be a elementary school badminton game, you know, that parents need to get blackout drunk for, because, you know, go Cornhuskers. Shit,
Listen,
I'll have to censor out Cornhuskers. We can't pay
if you
royalties to
can't
them.
if you can't get blackout drunk at your kids, I think that's probably the most American thing that I've heard in the last 20 minutes is
Yeah.
the fact that you're going to get drunk and go to your kid's sporting event, and then you're going to try to fight the referee because he's doing his job.
Yeah, these are some big American isms. It's in the Constitution. Uh, Starting a USA chant. What do you mean I can't drink here? And who owns this place? Those are four of them and stuff. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail what we were talking about before, but I
Oh, yeah.
think um
That's pretty much what we do, Brian. We
yeah,
hop from one subject to the other. My
yeah,
favorite thing about this is so weird and how my life is, my life is weird.
right.
I was twisting balloons yesterday at a 9-year-old. I was twisting balloons at a 1-year-old party, and it was a very nice event. It was at a golf course called the Back Nine in New Britain.
Was the 1-year-old drunk?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. Sorry. I was
I
like,
was hoping he would be,
yeah.
but I had the best time. And the DJ was blasting someone's mixtape that came to the party, right? And it was the most vile, dank, dirty.
That's awesome.
And I could see out the window the people golfing, just staring at the banquet hall that we're in. And I was like, come on in and complain. I
Can
was
you
just sitting
imagine?
waiting. I was like, because the older I get, I want my world star moment. I want to be that guy and like
This
Long
is why
John
I need to be back east. I should have been there filming this.
I wanted
You
to be
twisting balloons to a 1-year-old's, but that is a TikTok and a half, bro. Like China needs that data stat.
and
Like,
that isn't even the thing because the older I get, it's like that's the reason I still go to the mall. I want like a fight to break out over like
do you go to the one in Manchester?
I
I swear
do.
to God, dude, I see fights at the mall all the time. These are like just random videos. I'm not looking at like any Connecticut source. It will be like mall fight, and it's like 30 people fighting 30 people. And then I'll read, and it's like Buckland Hills Mall, Manchester, Connecticut. And I'm like, bro. And that's where, for anyone that doesn't know, that's where the Hartford Funny Bone is if you're a fucking
Yeah,
comedian. I've seen fights at that mall.
yeah,
I wrote a joke. One of my best jokes from my set, I wrote because of some violence I saw at that mall. I'm not going to say which joke because it has nothing to do with it because your mind can just go in different places. I saw this kid fall off a carousel in the funniest way, and that itself was not funny, but it made me think of a joke that was funny because I realized people falling down is hilarious once you realize they're okay, you
yeah.
know? But,
And basically, what happened was, is I was watching all these people walk up the pitch in their motorized golf cart. They have these motorized golf carts that move by themselves, and
AI's on golf carts now?
yeah, and I was like, please come in, please complain. And I would just be in the background with like everybody. It's like world. I want my world star moment.
I
I
mean,
don't even know if I would put it up. That would just be mine. It would play at my funeral. It would be great.
I feel like we were both in similar situations last night. I DJ'd a prom last night
A lot
for
of thinking.
Lincoln Lutheran. Uh so these repressed little white kids come in and I crushed it. They loved me. I started playing, like I was playing some, like they had like a pre-approved list, like my boss gave me some picks and stuff, but they were like really digging, like I had dude, I got a picture of it. There was this dude like crowd surfing and shit. Those kids
Yeah,
went nuts.
yeah.
Like my
Someone's
boss
getting
was like,
fingered in
play
that
some
parking
slow
lot.
songs, like, and I was like, no. They made me like stop for a little bit because I was going like I was getting those kids. I was like, we're gonna start a fucking riot tonight, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no, it's like we were
Brian,
getting nuts. But I was like,
Brian,
whatever. It is what it
how many
is.
people? How many people on your watch got fingered in the parking lot?
Dude, I don't even want to I don't fucking even know,
A
dude.
lot of awkward fingering.
Yeah, I
You
was
know what
like,
his
my
song is
boss made it like
actually
a
on?
joke too, is because it was only like 8 to 11 too. So he's like, you see
Mm.
anyone leaving early, you know what they're doing. And I was like, bro, I don't even want to think about it like that. Cause like he was saying, like, okay, this is like my boss being sappy because I was just playing songs and everyone was dancing, just having a good time. You know, they're doing like line dances and like sing alongs and shit. Like we were just getting hyped, you know what I mean? But he was like, do a slow song or two. And I was like, okay, like, cause we did a few, but he's like, and then this is him saying this. He goes, I remember like my prom, and he was like, I wanted nothing more than just more slow dances because I just wanted my crush to like ask me to dance and like have a moment with. And I was like, oh, you fucking pussy. So like I do it, and of course they all like start slow dancing, and I was like, oh, like because I'm a softie at heart, and I'm just like helping these kids have. I don't know, but yeah, probably tons of
Helping these
mad.
kids get
There's no
fingered.
parking lot there. It's downtown, so it's like, and also they just left. It was very weird. Like we were like prom's over, and they all just walked out. So I don't know what they did. They're just loose on O Street, probably like butt fucking for all I know. Like
No, awkward fingering.
they looked
It's,
so young, dude. I don't know. Maybe this is the old man in me, but like I'm like these are not like
maybe
old
we
high
shouldn't even be
schoolers. They
talking
looked
about this.
12.
I
I
don't
was
want to
like,
get
this
put
is
on a
awful.
list, Brian.
It was just like I was not getting any of those vibes at all. I'm like literally I felt like a chaperone guarding the punch bowl, but like playing music. But it was fun to just like, what there's what I'm saying is like because it was like I would love to see someone's like fly on the wall to like that event, like just a bunch of corny kids going wild to like Spaceships by Nicki Minaj. You know what I mean? Like the clean version. You know what I mean? It's very funny. And I'm just like, like disassociating. But I think there's like that where I feel like it's kind of similar, like besides like the inappropriate music for children, it's like that I felt like a very big pressure to DJ a prom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to play anything where they were like, fuck this asshole. Like, what an idiot. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You should
anything.
play
I
the
felt like,
song over and over again.
yeah, just well, I also didn't think like a Journey song came on and these kids went nuts. I was like oldies. Like, I was like, I don't, is this because of TikTok? I didn't know. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Because
These
like
kids are being
disco is
exposed.
had a got a huge reemergence, and I've always been a fan of disco and shit. Like maybe kids are just doing cocaine younger now. I'm not really sure.
Well,
Everyone's
listen, they're
on meth in
doing
Nebraska,
train.
I thought.
They're doing train. That's cocaine is
Oh,
doing.
what is
Yeah.
that? I read
So
about that, but I was like, I don't do that.
unfortunately, it is any drug with horse tranquilizer in it.
Oh, you're mixing ketamine and drugs?
Yeah, it could be really anything, but the thing is that horse tranquilizer has the ability and does rot limbs,
Yeah,
and Narcan has no effect on it.
that's
So
good.
we're doing it. We're just gonna kill ourselves off.
We are like one of the only species that like just like all of our hobbies are like just like these
Self-destructive.
masochistic fucking like abuse to ourselves, like because at the end of the day like all these like substances like and it makes your limbs fall off. We only care how it affects like our brain, you know what I mean? And I understand the irony of drinking coffee and smoking pot while I'm saying all of this, but like no one's doing anything with like the mindset of how does this feel like to my pancreas or like my large intestine or my stomach lining or whatever the fuck it is that it like actually kills everyone because they just pour
Yeah.
Mountain Dew on all their problems and they're like, but I eat more vegetables and it's diet soda.
No, it's crazy because anytime I do an event, I I'm just I saw the news report of when it's like Tranks making its way into Hartford. It's been here. It's all this. It's not new.
Really?
People have been mixing chemicals together for a better part of forever, and it's gonna get to the
Yeah.
point.
Well, like I when I left Connecticut fentanyl was all the things people were raging about.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I knew some people like from the liquor store that died from like laced fucking H and shit like that, or getting hot shots and stuff like that. It's here now. Like that's the big thing is fentanyl, but they're like mixing it in like coke and shit here, and I'm like, bro, can we not mix fentanyl and cocaine here? Because like obviously the drug of choice by most pieces of shit, I feel like from reading the news, is meth. Something I don't have much experience in. I just know it's not for me. So it's like I don't know. Like it's hard. It's harder getting like I don't know. I would say like more tame shit out here. Like I just want pot. You know what I mean?
Well, pot's not going to make your limbs fall off. I know that for
No,
sure. I'm not a scientist, and I've never done any narcotic, but I'm pretty
no.
sure I've never seen any of my friends with horrible lesions,
I've only
biblical
seen you drink
lesions.
your. I've seen how you drink your first and like I think only beer ever at Black Pond Brews, formerly in Danielson, Connecticut.
And here's the thing. After 3 years, I go back to being a bear virgin. I think that's how it works.
Yeah. That was the only time, right?
Yeah.
That was funny. It was cool. It was cute. You did it in
Well,
such an
I
innocent
lived it
way.
too. I didn't drink it like a normal person. I just
You
I,
slammed it. It was well, I mean, if you're gonna drink one beer ever, and also it was a light beer. I don't know if you knew that, but I told him to give you a light beer. Well, and that's Black Pond too. So like a normal beer, I would say. But I was like, don't give him like this like crazy, like over the top one, like this 10% shit.
yeah.
But like, yeah, innocent, cute Paul Kilmer has a beer. I know he's never had a beer. He's like, I've never I think you said something like real like cryptic right before you drank it too, like alcoholism runs in my family. And then you slammed it. And this is I had been sober for like a few years, so I was like obviously like on high alert, but then you were like
Yeah.
and I was like, why'd you drink a beer? And you were just like, it's a brewery. And I
Yeah.
was like, the answer was so innocent, and I was like, yeah,
And
sure.
it's so funny when I came in, I accidentally banged my magic case against like a piece of metal that was in there. And there was this lady that was loud. I didn't like that. And I was like, I'm sorry. No one's here to tell me where to go.
Yeah. Sorry, it's sensory overload awareness week. Uh if you plan on chewing in anyone's ear today, don't do it. Loud gulping noises.
Yeah.
What
And,
else?
and
What
it's
else am I
like,
not into?
well, no, it's like I tell everybody that, like I said, it's just like if we just if we just respected one another on like a base level
Hmm.
instead of intentionally like making each other feel uncomfortable, I think that'd probably be a better way to stand up. But because everybody wants to be like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, I'm gonna drive around with this flag on my car because I need people. I want to, it's like yesterday there's a guy driving around with a giant American flag on the back of his, and I was like, that just creates like, I need attention. I'm not getting attention in
Because
some part of my life, and now I'm
right,
just
and
gonna make
those people
everybody.
like right wing comedy, all their punchlines ever is like, what are you offended? What does that trigger you? Like, what my bad qualities offends you? It's like mostly that it's just not funny. You can't just be bad under the guise of comedy. Comedy won't appreciate that. No one will respect you because like if you're trying to gain a fucking like politically dominate someone or have some sort of like respectable whatever conversation, comedy is the last way to ever gain respect. No one respects comedy. We get paid in fucking mozzarella sticks. So good luck fucking with your
And
freedom of
bear
speech case,
tickets.
Mr. fucking comedian,
Yeah.
whatever, Milo Yiannopoulos, whoever the fuck abuses shit like that. But either way, like, you know what I mean? They'll be like, that dumb shit like my pronouns are patriot and fuck you. Like, and you're like, you're not funny. I'm sorry that you don't get on Gutfeld more. I really am. I hope more improvs book you. Not to middle, maybe you'll headline one. But as soon as, like, there was a show on Friday, I also had a show, so we were gonna go to it, but we didn't go. There was a comedian here, and it was free at an auditorium at 6 p.m. He has a dry bar special, so I don't need to say his name because fuck him. But it was literally advertised as like a pro-America, freedom of speech,
Yeah,
and I looked up some of this guy's clips. He just says like homophobic shit or
yeah,
whatever. It's like, cool, you're not funny.
yeah,
It's like even in it's like I don't know. It's all this oversaturated because they try and do the same thing too that
yeah,
that I hate about the other side is like, real of someone doing crowd work that has no
yeah,
punchline like why are you wearing a cowboy hat? And then like it's just like a girl with a leg tattoo. That's the comic.
yeah,
So for some reason everyone watched it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's the same thing as that, but now the right wingers are trying to do that. So it'd be like, can you believe that like fucking guys in dresses want to go in the bathroom? And then someone's like, you're a fucking pig, and they're like, triggered. You know what I mean? Like it's all the same shit. And
yeah,
then it's like, and then it will be like the same like thing. It would be like if the heckler posted the video, it would be like, you know, activist owns right wing shithead comedian being
yeah,
homophobic. If the fucking right wing guy posted it, it would be like libtard social justice warrior gets pwned by fucking political comedian. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's the spin. It's the
yeah,
spin. We're only going to read the headline anyways. It's like an Onion article. No one reads those. Just like the real news. No one reads those. We read the article. We form our own opinion about bullshit we heard from other headlines and things we heard on the Kardashian show. And then we keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, I still have to go to work, still have shit to do. I still have to go twist balloons at kids' parties over rap music. None of that changes. The world keeps on spinning. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I totally understand that, and that's why my main goal in comedy is try to be the nicest I can to everybody.
Me and
Because
you
the
have the
one,
opposite strategy, and that's what
yeah,
I love about you.
my whole thing is that I don't have to bury people; they'll do it themselves.
Mm-hmm. I do
And
it to
one of
myself
the,
constantly.
yeah,
That's what this
and
show is.
yeah,
You set up, I fuck it up.
I tell everybody when I'm up there doing my comedy, this is material that I've honed for the past like 7 or 8 years that I put a lot of money into. And
Wait, this
like,
is an overnight process? Are you sure, Paul?
no,
Oh
no, I
my
didn't.
God.
I like making people laugh, and I'll go to extremes to do it.
Oh yeah,
But
well, as comedians, we're desperate creatures. We can all pinpoint it. Like we won't ever admit it out loud, but we all know the moment that we got that validation at like the lunch table or like whatever the fuck it is we did to get that like fucking like spirit boner for like,
yeah,
oh my God, the thing I should do. Whether it's actually on stage or just a thing that's my personality trait that gets me by as a coping mechanism. I am the comedic guy, you know?
yeah,
I think that we both like are purists in that like of like we just want to make people laugh because making other people happy makes us happy because
yeah,
we're sad.
yeah. My favorite thing to do when I'm on stage is I try to take crowd work in a kind of different way where I try to develop a ongoing dialogue with people.
You should make crowd work reels. Those would be worth watching for any dipshit comedian wondering like why is mine not getting tens of millions. You would be amazing. Like just your interactions. If anyone out there in Connecticut with a fucking video camera and a sensibility is listening, please go videotape all of Paul's shows for free. He doesn't have to pay you. You're lucky enough to even fucking get to see him for free. You
But
have to, you know what? Even though you're filming it, you still have to buy a ticket. Guess what? That's the rules. It's fucking
um,
called capitalism, baby. And I'm Paul's manager now. As his manager from Brian's one Paul show, which is a
Yeah.
contract I'm actually gonna have him sign after this. You know,
An
I
NDA
own it. I own the exclusive right to Paul's ponytail, and
that I've been trying to fix the entire
yeah,
time.
yeah. I own the rights now to Hey Guys, and he goes, and he still owns me, Paul.
Yeah.
So you know what? We're
Brian gets 20% of Hey Guys.
yeah. I'm the general to your Elvis. I'm there selling the I love Paul and I hate Paul shirts right across the street from each other. I'm capitalizing on branding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Someone has to.
Yeah, I got them out there. But shit, dude. I fucking gotta go eat lunch and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm fucking realize it's like 4, like 15 my time, and I've just been pouring coffee. I slept like such shit. Like, when you're just playing Sucker by Jonas Brothers into the wee hours of the morning for children trying to get hand jobs.
Yeah.
Do you have any plugs, any things you want people to come out to, anything that you have coming up that you want the masses to know?
Okay, guys, this is Paul's second plug of the show. I'm gonna be in the Elbow Room on Friday. Uh, 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 on Friday, this Friday. And then I've got Autistic Comics, a show run by Juliana Hang, and that is April 8th. You can find all the posters of all the shows I'm on at paulkilmer.com. This podcast is sponsored by FanDuel.com. Please give us money. We're both dying inside. So FanDuel.com and Coke Zero, please send us a check or send Brian a check so I can get some of that money. FanDuel.com, Coca-Cola Zero, please send us some money or at least some free merchandise. I don't know what FanDuel is, but please, FanDuel.com.
Oh, we're sponsored now by FanDuel.com.
I don't know. I'm trying to help.
Yeah. Well, I have barely any shows coming up, but I am planning on doing some cool stuff with my book. I was trying to find a copy of it. I sold one at my show the other day. So I have a huge stockpile. If anyone's interested in buying the Liquor Store Chronicles, I think it's the way to go. I know we talk about Paul's job a lot on here. I had a job at one time. Maybe I'll write a DJing book too. I feel like I've become like the job guy, but like I think there's a very good comedic value in like the day in, day out of like a 9 to 5 and stuff like that. And I worked at a shitty ass liquor store for so long, but it was cool to just see people, like I'm not even plugging it. Like I just showed them the book and they just buy it on site. I forget that people enjoy it. So I'm like, you know what? If you want to read about a terrible liquor store that I worked at for 5 years, the Liquor Store Chronicles, it's not on a website anymore. You just got to hit me up. But if you're watching this with Paul, you know about it. And I gotta say, dude, your thing with the Batman, Mrs. Doubtfire, and your reflection in it has been literally crushing this entire podcast. But we gotta make more Paul reels. We gotta get that going and stuff. Do you want to end on a card trick? Do you want to do a card trick for the folks?
Yeah, hold on. I'll go. I gotta go get my thing. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. I thought you had them out there. I was like, that would actually be perfect ending. But you know what? It should be this way. I'm not editing out any of us walking away today. Just all of the perfect plugs. You know what? Let's actually get some plugs out of the way too. While Paul's gone, we are sponsored by Cape Cod Picnic Tables. If you are in the Cape Cod area, which I know Paul does do shows in Cape Cod, and you want to buy it, you want to have a picnic with Paul, go to CapeCodPicnicTables.com. That's right. They are for all your needs. They have a website. They didn't have a website, but because they are sponsors of the show and they've been getting maybe some inquiries, CapeCodPicnicTables.com. It's how it sounds, all one word. They are a sponsor of the show, and we're also sponsored by Pixie Pins. If you want to get hardcore pins for your band because you're having a midlife crisis, if you're 14, maybe you have a punk band in your garage and you want to show your parents you really are anarchists, go to Facebook.com/PIXXIEPINS. That's Facebook.com/PixiePins with 2 fucking X's. You did it.
Okay, so this is a really cool trick, but I have to warn you before I do it. This trick is very difficult because I am going to be predicting the future. Now, I've only been predicting the future for about a month. It's really difficult. Um, so the only problem is sometimes I predict the wrong future because time's relative. So,
Interesting.
so basically, what I'm going to do is, Brian,
Hmm.
uh, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, since I'm going to try to predict the card, it doesn't really matter if I see it or not. Just memorize that card.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and we'll put that back in the deck. And we actually don't need the deck anymore because you've memorized that. So earlier today, I took a card from another deck of cards and I put it in this envelope. It's not an envelope. It's something I bought off of wish.com that Rebecca doesn't know about. It's this nice Italian leather thing, and it holds one card very well. And it's this card. Was that your?
No.
So there's a reason for this. You got to reset the card every single day. If you were to pick a card yesterday, would be the card that I would have predicted in the future.
Oh.
This is how you reset the wallet.
What the fuck, dude?
I know, it's crazy. It's
Dude,
like
that was nuts.
I know, but yeah, it's the wallet. You have to reset it because you don't know which future you're predicting and stuff like that. I don't know. Wish.com. Wish.com, please sponsor us.
Yeah, dude, we are. I'm sending that to them. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Paul. We did it. That was an amazing episode. We have to end it on that. I bow to you. You are too good. Standing ovation. There's no crowd here, guys. Keep it going for Paul Kilmer, everyone.
Thank you.
Let him hear it.